I believe we are live. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Sugoi Boyz podcast. I am Miasma from Gyre Media, and I got to make sure I'm muted so I'm not hearing myself over and over again. But with me, as always, I have J Chip from the J Chip Show and Art from the Art of Anime. And tonight we actually have a really special guest, a good friend from who I met through the magic of Discords. And I'm going to refer to it as the magic of Discords. Lelouch. He has a blog that I have linked down below in the description. Talks about anime, stuff that we're into. You know, people like anime, hence why he's here. Mm-hmm. And I rather like him. So there you go. Light, welcome to the show.
Nice to be here. Hello, everyone.
How was everybody's week? What have you? I have not watched a ton of anime this week. I've been busy playing Overwatch and so forth, but I'm still watching Scry. So there you go. What's that?
I said you've been nerding it out in other ways.
Nerding it out in other ways. You know, Overwatch and Scry, that's a good life to live, I suppose.
Yeah.
I actually called into a sports talk radio show this week that I listen to on my way home every day, because they had the Overwatch League Grand Finals on ESPN Friday night. And I know one of the hosts plays the game, and I wanted to be that guy that called in and asked a radio station if the guys were actually going to watch the Overwatch League. So, infamously, I made it. They let me on for some reason. I don't know why. They must be psychotic. But Justin, what have you been up to?
Nothing much, really. I watched the movie Into the Forest of Firefly Light.
Hotarubi no Mori.
Yeah, that was a good movie, and I recently picked up these two anime, and I got them for really fucking cheap, and yeah, I made Miasma jealous.
Yeah, show those again, because you need to, and also describe how much you paid. Proxy.
I got this. This was sealed for $2.
$2
and
8 quarters.
Kiyosiu Giga, I think that's how you pronounce this show.
I have them.
So it's Lelouch Academia, if I remember right.
No, it's by Toei.
Oh, okay. The girl that I saw, briefly saw on that cover just now, I thought was the chick from Academia, and I was like, "Is that on Blu-ray yet? Did you get a bootleg?"
No, but the pawn store I go to had 6 different copies, so he was like, "Yeah, I'll give it to you for $5." So I mean, I got good.
Who's this guy?
Wow.
Who is this guy?
Not an anime fan, that's for sure.
I need to buy my anime profile.
Oh man, Light, what have you been watching lately?
Black Clover.
Oh my god! All right.
Tell us about that.
It's tolerable. My head does hurt after watching every episode, like My Hero Academia.
Oh man, he busts out the Black Clover. I wasn't ready for that shit. Oh my god. All right. Well, we'll get to that. Art, what have you been watching? Is it Black? If you say Black Clover, I'm gonna go to bed.
No, I'm still watching Hunter x Hunter, and we did a watch along last night. We finished up the first season of Noragami and watched your favorite director ever, Hiroyuki Imaishi. We watched his movie Dead Leaves.
Oh boy. I was telling Justin this before the call, that with Dead Leaves, it is the ultimate 50-50 for me, because I've watched one YouTuber that hated it and one YouTuber that loved it. Now, I won't say who those people are, but one I feel is far more credible than the other, so I'm going to lean towards it sucking, and I also tend to hate Hiroyuki Imaishi.
Okay, but what if I said it was a pretty good movie?
Wait, what? If you said it was a pretty good movie? Yeah. I guess
it's average.
I guess a dead clock is right twice a day, I guess. So there you go.
No, but the Light has a point. If I say it's pretty good, and you have these other two people, one says it sucks, one says
percentages,
it's not good, wouldn't it end up as pretty average?
Yes, you tilt it. You tilt the scale that way. Congratulations. That's how I view you. Now, if Justin said it, fucking
yeah.
Hey, Melancholy Matoy.
Hello.
Never got his extra credit. Is that an inside?
Your extra credit?
Oh.
Extra credit. Who watched that recently? Was that Justin?
Me and Justin.
Yeah.
But together? Holy shit! Why did you not lead with that? Forget Dead Leaves.
And Black Clover, forget that.
and that. Everyone, we should have made that mandatory. It should have been the extra credit cast. That's what that should have been. Oh man. But what we decided to kind of talk about today was the concept of dropping anime. And I guess maybe you could even say manga too if you wanted. But
Dropping media.
Dropping media. In the sense that I am one that I have 39 drops on my MAL right now. I thought it was 40, but it's 39. And I'm sure there are shows that I'm currently watching that might even end up on there. I don't know. But generally, it's something I'm not like scared to do. And it's not. And I think sometimes I pull the trigger too fast. And I think, I'm kind of done with this before maybe it's like the age-old argument. Oh, it gets good. I stuck with it for Hunter
good
Hunter.
after 50 episodes,
Okay, yeah, so does Hunter Hunter. I mean, but I stuck around with Hunter Hunter. That was
Hunter got good after like 3 episodes.
Hunter Hunter was okay at 3 episodes, and then it gets boring again, and then it gets good at like 13 or 15 or something, and then it has like a recap already.
Well, it had a recap at 26.
Oh, is that what it? Okay, so it's 26.
Yeah, there was a recap at 26.
It's 26? Okay. Still, I didn't want to recap then. Just keep going. And I was really tired of the fishing pole. All right, whatever. This is the Hunter Hunter cast. I finished Hunter Hunter. I didn't drop it. There we go. We can be proud of that fact in my life. But yeah, I have fucking 39 things on here. And a lot of them are... you might have one episode here. I used to try and do like the 3 episode rule kind of thing, but I kind of grew to think that was bullshit. Because if I don't like it in episode 1, I don't know if I'm going to like it very much after the fact. But I guess we can go around and say and talk about like how are you similar to me at all in the sense that you drop some shit, you finish other stuff, and it's kind of dependent on the show, maybe, or maybe you can give like an indicator as to what will make you like drop something real quick. Justin, I'm going to start with Justin just because he's always on the left side of my screen. So Unfortunately, you're always there. Have fun.
Okay, so for me, I don't drop as many shows as maybe you or Art, but I do drop the shows that I feel like are not going to value my time, because usually that boils down to if the show's going to value my time. Unless if it's like a paid request, which I do, which have been mainly everything that I've been watching has been paid requests, and I can drop those. But if it's on my time, like if I'm watching, like let's say Black Clover, and it's not paid, and if the show is not going to value my time, then it's done.
But Justin, if I pay to your Patreon and tell you to watch Black Clover, will you do it?
You have to. That's 2 patrons.
Yeah,
that is true. But to be fair, Black Clover isn't. To be fair, Black Clover isn't finished yet. So
when it is finished,
it will be like in 5 weeks.
What about Fairy Tail?
Fuck Fairy Tail.
That's done, right?
No,
is it coming back?
Maybe. No, it's not.
It's still going. I think.
Great. Of course.
The final season's coming out soon.
Oh.
They say final season. Haven't they said final season like every single time a new season came out?
I don't know.
A quick poll here. How many people in this... Raise your hand in this chat if you have dropped Black Clover.
I haven't even watched Black Clover.
Oh, we're at half here.
The 50-50 split, ladies and gentlemen. But that's a good segue into Light. The person.
Well, here's the thing, Miasma. Before we get into Light...
Oh, yeah,
I dropped it 0 seconds in.
Damn.
To be fair, Art, you did watch that one episode where it's just nothing but him screaming, and that's all you need.
That's every episode.
That's every episode.
The supercut of him screaming.
Yeah.
The dub is a little better.
Okay, you were going to segue into Light.
Yeah. So segue into Light, because he's the one person whose hand wasn't raised or dropped it in milliseconds. Light. Now, I had heard this very briefly from you. In fact, earlier
Yeah.
today, there's a peek behind the curtain to all the fans of Sugoi Boyz. But you're not a fan of dropping the animes.
Yeah, I'm not. Usually what I would do is if it's bad, I'll take longer to finish it. So like 1 week, edit the next episode I'll watch.
So instead
Very
of
upset.
ending your misery
Yeah.
quickly,
I take longer to finish it. Except for there's one exception. The regular and Magic High School. That one I was like, I want to get this over with. So I started the last 8 episodes together.
a show I've only heard bad things about.
Oh,
So
it's
I
terrible.
believe you.
It's the worst anime I've
It's
seen.
very bad.
And I've seen just images of the main character looking as boring as possible.
Oh, it's even worse in the actual anime.
Yeah, especially when you get to the incest arc.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on, man.
That's every arc.
Oh, great. Hold on, let me add that to my Mal real quick.
Yeah, you should watch that.
I don't think so. But if so, you'd say you watch like a good amount of anime though, correct? Like to find a good amount, I believe is a loose term. But I've seen your Mal before, and I know you have hundreds of stuff on there.
Yeah.
And in this time of you watching anime, Light, you have not had the reaction to just say like, besides a regular Magic High School, to say like, fuck this. This is fucking waste of my time. I'm just wondering, do you fight that urge?
Yeah, I do. I think the last time I really had that urge was Boku no Hero Academia Season 1. After the first episode, I was like, I should quit. But I'll keep going.
You kept going.
I should have quit.
I have. Okay. While I differ immensely in how I consume my media, I have had the feeling, I think as we all have, of the push through. The push through is a hard, and this is a great depiction of it, by the way. The push through is probably the hardest part of reviewing anime. Because sometimes people might ask you to do something, or you think it's a popular fucking thing to talk about, and then you're just sitting there and I picture this. I'm going to be an old man someday, and I'm going to hopefully be like run over by a bus or something. Maybe I'll live to be like on a deathbed, and all my family will be around, and I'm going to be sitting there pondering all the good moments of my life, and then I feel like my last thought, unfortunately, will be like, I watched Black Clover episode 1. Fuck. There's 20 more. Wish I had 20 more minutes. And then I just yell like Asta, and then I die. That's my horror. That's my nightmare. But hey, man, if you like Lelouch, everybody, a person who is addicted to self-torture,
Yeah, pretty much.
among other
I
things.
can't drop anything.
Well, here's the real question. What's his completed count?
Oh, like 324, something like that.
Oh, okay, I've got you by almost double. I think you'll get to a point in the near future where you might finally turn around and be like, I need to drop this garbage.
We'll see.
You might like it. It might
I've seen some serious crap.
It might happen. But Art, how do you we'll segue into you real quick. I feel that I get the vibe that you're more similar to myself.
Actually, while I am similar to you, I actually used to be like Light.
Oh,
Which is why I'm saying a year from now, he might have a change of heart.
damn.
I didn't like dropping shows, but then I started watching more, and then I'm like, there is a lot of garbage out here. Why should I waste my time with watching Fuka?
Because it's a sequel to Suzuka.
Yeah.
But Suzuka was like 3 times better.
I've never seen Suzuka. I know it's about track, and I did track. That's the only reason it's on my plan to watch.
Why should it? Like,
Only reason.
since we're talking about Light dropping, well, not dropping, but his disdain for My Hero Academia,
Ah.
I dropped both versions of Agretzko. I thought those were awful.
That's the cat Netflix thing.
Yeah.
Right? I just didn't have interest. People said I would. My friends that don't watch anime told me I would like it, which is a bad sign. I feel like. So I just chose to stay away, and I really didn't like the like. I mean, I tell people not to be a judge a book by its cover kind of person, but I saw like its weird like flash animation, and I was like, I'm not gonna even step into this.
Let's just say my drop list is about it's exactly at 68.
Damn, I'm catching up.
Damn.
And you've watched a lot more shit than me. My percentage of things that I've seen and percentage that I've dropped, the numbers are like, okay, let me Suzuka was trash, says Sweet Pea, by the way. So I guess maybe I should take it away. Just because Sweet Pea said so. I have to now take it away. But if I go to, let's say, my completed, and I want to say it's 171. And I've dropped 38 or 39, and I have 3 on hold, which might end up just being dropped. I feel like on hold is just like my
Just
like,
about
like
to
it's like
drop.
my minor league baseball of like the dropped list. It's like you guys you're either that or it's a really long show, like Legend of Galactic Heroes. I'm pretty sure is on here. Which I'm not going to drop. I will eventually watch that, just like Light will eventually finish Black Clover. Unfortunately.
I'd say that I'm a dustbin. I finished Black Clover. While I mean,
hey, Miasma, I said I was gonna eventually finish Trinity Blood.
I finished it already, dude.
Yeah, I know,
It's on
because
my level.
like I don't know why you.
I reviewed it on my old channel. You can check that out.
I don't know why you like decided to finish that shit.
Was it? It definitely wasn't. I was not big enough for it to be requested, so I can't even use that excuse. So, I think I know what I back then I tried to do like horror month, and like for some reason I thought I knew it was a show like about vampires. Ironically, in that same month, oh my god, it was fucking foobar because I did that show and I also did Is This a Zombie, which is not remotely a horror show.
Yeah, no.
It is a fucking comedy harem with
Which is
like,
also on my drop list.
with horror.
Oh,
I
come
like that show.
Oh, come on.
I like season 1. Season 2 is not great, but season 1 is hilarious to me because it's all it's an anime that makes fun of itself, and I can appreciate that heavily. Plus, I like the main girl. I forget what her name is already. Euclid.
The maid
Euclid
one?
Hellscythe.
The maid. Oh, come on.
What? You're not about the main girl? What do we guess? You
No.
like the vampire ninja?
I don't like anyone from that.
No, nobody? Okay.
No
That's-
wife.
that's
The rest of the
correct.
girls
No.
are pretty annoying. But the main one, I like her. And she's also one of the most powerful anime characters in existence, technically. So, I'm pretty sure Death Battle actually brought her up at some point. Or like whatever those YouTube videos are. Because technically Euclid from Is This a Zombie has such powerful magic that when she utters words, like she can't control it. So if she were to say sleep, you would fall asleep. And there's instances where she just says die, and you would die. So I guess if you could shut her up, I guess you could beat her in a fight. Or if you were deaf, maybe. So if you're the main girl in a silent voice, I guess you stand a chance of beating Euclid outside the... Wow, all right, this got sent down a dark alley. I blame Light for that.
You're the one that went. You can't blame him for that. You
I
win.
Come on. It's all.
What I wanted to do too is I'm going to look at my drop list and I'm going to pick out. There's certain things that I did want to sort of mention. Like I tend to drop anything that's ridiculously long that I know I'm not like. Even if I don't like necessarily hate it, like I have Fairy Tail on here. I saw like the first like 3 episodes and I didn't hate it per se, but I saw that it was 175, at least this first series or whatever. I don't know how Fairy Tail was divided up. And then I was like, I was tired of seeing Happy go, "Aye!" And I was really fucking tired of everybody by then. And I was like, I'm not going to sit around for something this long when I probably know a majority of how the outcome is going to be. He's probably going to marry the girl with the big tits.
Which
oh, that's true. The blonde.
I'm sure you wanted a Lucy body pillow back in the day.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Lucy's cute.
come on.
Then you got no. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
What do you like the red hair girl?
Yeah.
She's hotter, but I don't like her like attitude. She's got that like Riza Hawkeye attitude. I'm pretty sure she's voiced by the same person. But I don't know. I'm not into
Riza Hawkeye.
No, well, Riza Hawkeye. This is becoming the Riza Hawkeye. Well, Riza Hawkeye's cool, but I'd be scared to do anything with her because
this is quickly devolving into the waifu cast.
Yes, it is. Roy Mustang would hurt me. But I also have stuff on here that like I will just hate from a get-go. So we talked about. I think we've mentioned him before on here. Is I am not a huge fan of a man named Hiroyuki Imaishi. And fucking I can never think of his like minion. He has another guy that he fucking, if he doesn't do the show, the other one, I can't remember. Whatever. But who is Studio Trigger for the most part, if you don't know. And he was previously with Gainax, because the people that made Trigger, a lot of them were formerly at Gainax before. And I'm not saying before people flame the comments or something and say like, oh, you don't like, you said you like Evangelion. You like Gainax didn't fuck up everything. Certain people that worked at Gainax aren't good at what they do. And then they decided to do other shit and become their own thing. And now we get stuff like, the fuck did I have on here? Kill la Kill.
Get out.
I like Kill la Kill. Come on. Come on. No.
Granted, I think it's 2 episodes, but I had stopped. And then we have Dead Leaves as well. So there's that, which apparently is all right.
Okay.
And then the other, like, the big one, I also, and maybe if you could bring up like a drop that perhaps you regret, because I have Naruto technically on here, Shippuden, because it's just like, I wish I could just sit and finish it all, but I know I'm not going to. Like, I just don't want to lie to myself. I think I would have like 60 episodes or something remaining. I think I got up to like when they started telling like Itachi's backstory, like that cool little arc with about.
That's like exactly where I am in Naruto.
Okay, yeah. And plus the fact that the internet is the internet, I know everything that's going to happen. So like 1,000 YouTubers who I won't mention their names made a bunch of videos with fucking their thumbnail saying like. Back in the day, it'd be like, Obito is this? Like, real... or it'd be like, this happens, this person gets with this person, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm just not watching the episodes anymore. I guess now this happens, so now I know everything that's going to happen anyway. And I didn't even read the manga. I didn't even physically try to consume the media. And I know pretty much everything that happens with fucking Kaguya, whatever her name is, and fucking Madara, and all that shit. And by then I was kind of done, but I realized that looking back on like my Mal, I watched like all that original Naruto, which had all that fucking ostrich filler shit and all that terribleness that went on. And I sat through all that and I devoted all that time to it, right? And then I watched hundreds of episodes of Shippuden. And then now I'd cut the cord. Like it's done. And I kind of wish maybe I didn't. Not saying I'm ever going to go back. I don't think I will. It's like a rough, it's like a tough relationship with a girlfriend. You know, you got to cut the cord sometimes. And with me and Naruto, we had to sever our ties there.
Yeah, there's one. You go back to your ex.
He wants to go back to Hinata sometime soon.
Hinata.
Miasma of Konoha.
No, you know what else really pissed me off is I was really into Anko, and I saw what they did to Anko in fucking Boruto, and I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" I don't know if you remember who that is. She does not matter that much, but she was hot. She's a bae, dude. She wears like no clothes basically. She wears a jacket with like a fishnet thing underneath because that's what ninjas wear apparently. But Justin, do you have drops that you wanted to maybe bring up?
Well, I mean, it's really the same thing when you said Naruto. Like, I did the exact same thing, except I didn't watch hundreds and hundreds of episodes, but I got to a point where I was just like, everyone's talking about Naruto, everyone's ahead of me, so as well drop it right here and just watch all the fights on YouTube. And that's basically what I did. And I already knew what happened. I already knew who everybody was gonna marry and bone and have kids with. I don't need to know what happens on Boruto because I can just look it up.
Well, I don't give a fuck about Boruto. That's a whole nother discussion.
Boruto's dad is the cream.
I'm not a huge sequel guy, and I'm not into sequels generally. I know it's not a side story, but continuations for whatever. I think it's just a weird thing in my brain. That's a discussion for a different day. But Boruto, like I feel a little bad about Naruto. Boruto, I don't give a fuck if I ever see. I would rather not. Yeah. I'd rather not see clips. I'd rather see nothing.
But yeah, basically I did the exact same thing with Naruto, and if you look on my mal, it's the only thing dropped that I have scored, which because like I already know what happens in Naruto Shippuden. I already know how I feel about it because
it's Boruto's grandpappy. Sorry, Justin. Just somebody in chat. When's Boruto's grandpappy? Yeah, the Minato show. That'd be all right, I guess. I'd accept that.
The same thing.
When's the show about Naruto's great grandfather? When's the show about Naruto's cousin who isn't a ninja? He's just a guy. He just
going
like sells
regular school.
Yeah, he sells cabbages in the Avatar universe, and people keep knocking him over. Sorry, Justin, I keep jumping in on you. What have you? I know you're not the hugest drop guy. I don't think.
I've dropped about 21 shows.
Okay, so I'm dead wrong. All right, it's fine. And what kind of stands out to you if you were to give it a glaze over?
I don't know. I guess the main one everyone bitches about, like when I show my drop list, everyone bitches like, why did I drop Assassination Classroom?
That's also on mine.
Good for you.
That's also on mine.
Good for you.
And I tell everybody the exact same thing. I've seen this story before in better anime. Like if I wanted to see this exact story, I can watch Devil's a Part-Timer or Squid Girl, and they're much better.
Devil's Part-Timer is pretty good.
I don't care how good the ending is in Assassination Classroom. I don't care. I'm just not going to go around to watching it because it's boring. The comedy's not good. I don't like the characters. The animation's pretty good, but I'm not going to watch a show just for a pretty animation.
It's funny you bring that up because I think my biggest problem and what made me drop Assassination Classroom was they were teasing Karma so much. And they were like, well, Karma's the only guy that can do this, blah, blah, blah. And he comes in and he does this. It's like this juvenile attempt at getting rid of Koro-sensei. And like, I'm just thinking like anybody could have come up with that. This guy's the greatest there is, supposedly. And he just does the simplest shit. And then he fails anyway, because how would the show end right there if Karma came in and, got rid of Koro-sensei?
That's it, guys. We got him.
Oh, you did. Yeah, actually did. I can't believe it. What pissed me off the most, it was like, so I spent 2 seasons following these characters, trying to learn how to kill their teacher, and they don't even get to do it themselves.
The only thing I know Koro-sensei, and I know the main character looks like a girl. That's all I know about the show.
You're not missing much. You really aren't.
Yeah, it's a good thing you guys dropped it.
I feel like I'm not.
Season 2 is terrible.
Justin had brought up another thing I wanted to piggyback off of here. in the sense that when you're sort of a reason for me having so much on the list is I'll try to get into the show and it's just something's like not clicking. Like it's just not, and it's not necessarily that I hate the show, but I have like I have Sakamoto on there, and I watched I think it's 3 episodes, and it's funny. It's funny to a point for me, but like if it's just not like I feel like if it's not your type of humor, I'm not gonna force myself through like a comedy show like that.
I would actually, since you dropped the anime, I would actually recommend reading the manga. Because I feel like the manga encapsulated the atmosphere and told the jokes a little better.
So it's like a Watamote 2.0.
Yeah.
It's just my issue though is like Sakamoto, and I don't know if the manga does this, is that it was funny, but everything is just like it's so repetitive. Like it's just the same joke. Like he's perfect. I get it. And then it's just like whatever situation he gets into, he gets out of. And I get it. And he gets out in like ridiculous ways. But I didn't want to watch 12 or 13 episodes of that. Maybe it's better to read it. I don't know. I don't know if the jokes get slightly less repetitive.
I mean, it's the anime adapted like 90 to 95% of the manga. There's like 1 or 2 stories it didn't. And I think those 2 stories are the different ones.
Okay.
I would also recommend, if you haven't seen it, the Disastrous Life of Saiki K.
I have not even heard of it.
Similar to Sakamoto, but instead of the guy being unaware of how perfect he is, he's aware that everybody really likes him.
Okay.
And he tries to actively avoid it.
Huh.
And he's an alien.
Oh, that one.
Now, Light. Now, I know, so you don't have the drops on the list, right?
Yeah.
But you have hundreds of anime that you've seen. And I know you can hate on certain stuff. You have disdain in your heart for certain shows. Are there certain shows, and here's, get the gun ready, because here comes the shotgun. Are there shows on your list that you think that you will drop at some point in your life, or just want that pain gone forever?
Let me see. The first one that comes to mind is Soul Eater.
Soul Eater. Okay.
Yeah, I got my
This is
episode
interesting. I enjoy Soul Eater.
And
Now, the anime. Do you read the manga?
No.
Let me. Okay.
I got 9 episodes into it, and I couldn't get into it. I really hated that blue-haired character. He was annoying.
Well, Black
Star
Yeah.
is
I will
actually
agree
annoying.
with you that he was an annoying little fuck.
And
He is
then,
annoying. And in the dub, it's worse because it's Brittany Karbowski, who is an okay voice actress, but I don't like when she's like being loud. Speaking of Is This a Zombie, she's in that too.
It's all about Maka. I'm just going to say that.
that character. I can't even remember her. There's a lot of things about that I can't remember. I remember not liking comedy. The action was pretty lame also.
See, I was expecting, I thought that the angle that people usually go about this is that the manga is always better, my husband. The manga has this shit going on, and fucking this character acts like this in the manga, and this other stuff wasn't even adapted, and then they had this weird ending. But Soul Eater for me was one of, and I never binge shit. I binged the fuck out of that show. Like, I remember it was on Netflix. That was when I first started really getting back into anime. I had watched fucking Tokyo Ghoul. It was the first anime that I had watched in years. And then after I watched that, I went on to Netflix to see what they had, and they had Soul Eater. And I was like, I remember I had a friend in college that was really into this. And all I remembered was that the sky, like the moon, had like a face on it, which was really weird. And I was like, what the fuck is that about? And then I was like, I'll give it a try. And then I fucking fell in love. I fucking watched before I knew it. I was like 14 episodes in, and I was like, I need to go to bed. What am I doing?
So the question is, did you fall in love with the show, or did you fall in love with Blair?
Blair is hot as fuck, but like, she's not around enough. But the show should actually just be about her. But no, I think that I enjoyed its action to a point, but I would have to say that it's not aesthetically what I want to see. Like, I don't like the animation. I don't think it's not cheap. It's not bad. It's not like they've had a lazy effort. It's just a weird style, and they're adapting a manga, so I kind of get it. It's not a style it's definitely not something I would ever want to read. I have no interest in the manga for Soul Eater at all. I feel like that is an anime show. I feel like that's like destined to be an anime. Like, I don't imagine myself just reading panels and panels of them charging up their soul energy. So let's go. Soul Resonance.
There's also one more. I tried completing Samurai Champloo 3 times.
Like,
I got to episode 8, and I can't do it. I can't do it.
I can understand Samurai Champloo.
Yeah,
I said we were friends at the beginning.
Oh, come on. For me, it just felt like we're trying to be a hipster series for no reason. And I didn't find much appealing to it, like the hip-hop style or breakdancing combat was pretty boring to see. I also didn't like the music in it.
I don't really like the music either. But I will say
characters were kind of boring.
Mugen and Jean. Oh
yeah,
I love their dichotomy though. Like, you have a Fu can fucking die. Like, Fu acts like long, but if the plot wouldn't exist, it wasn't for her, I suppose. But like, Fu gets annoying, and her fucking Momo squirrel, like, that shit gets annoying real fast, and she's Daphne from Scooby Doo for like the rest of the show. But my problem with that show, if I do really enjoy it, and it makes me sad that you didn't. But I've seen it twice, and I distinctly remember I had on my rewatch of it. I watched like a YouTuber talk about it or review it or something, and then they brought up a similar point that I had in my head, was that show is so much more enjoyable on its first watch, because if you go back and rewatch Champloo, in my opinion, and this guy had shared the same thing, that it's like, what is it? I think it's 26 episodes, but only like 11 of them matter. Like 10 of them matter. Like, because like they're very rarely like progressing, besides like showing them like they walk to here and then this happens. There's so many like one-off things that happen that are interesting, that might go into a little bit of the character backstory or showcase something about the character that you didn't see before, but then they're not discussed like ever again. Like Jean's whole thing with the geisha girl, and he kicks the boat away, and then she's fucking gone forever. He doesn't bring that up, and then we don't really know much about Mugen. There's just stuff that I feel like if you're going to tell side story bullcrap, have it matter. And I feel like that's kind of I don't know if that's a Watanabe thing, because people will say that about Bebop as well. I don't think Bebop is as bad at it. I think I enjoy Bebop more in pretty much every regard, I guess. But I just don't, and that's like, I have that a deep dislike for things that are episodic in nature in general. So when you give me a 26 episode show, and then 11 of them actually like matter or so, matter depending on how you define matter, it kind of ticked me off on my rewatch of it. But I still recommend people watch Champloo. Justin, were you saying something about Champloo 2 when Light had mentioned it? Sorry, I keep jumping in.
Yeah, I was basically going to say what you just said. I can understand why people won't like it, because it does drag even on that first watch.
Oh yeah.
But if you know you're not gonna like it, I'd say it's not worth it trying to rewatch it, because there are some shows where I try to rewatch them, but they all have the same kind of feeling to me, and I end up dropping it. Like Keikito Hitman Reborn. I've heard many good things about it. I've heard that like it's got really good action, and every time I try to watch it, it's just this comedy, boring slice of life show with like mafia. And I don't know. I don't know. I tried like 3 times and I just can't get past that one episode, and I just get bored all the time from that show, and I end up dropping it. So I understand that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes,
but my question to you
Matoy,
guys is,
by the way, sorry, just wanted to mention Matoy knows that Blair is a good reason to watch the show, and Excalibur. And then Art Assistants.
No.
Blair and Excalibur are too big. Excalibur? Oh.
Nah.
Oh. That's a show I showed to my dad as well, by the way, and he was not nearly as into Excalibur as I was.
That'd be good to appeal to him. Then he gets accents, but that's not it.
Ooh. What were you going to say, Justin?
So my question to you guys is, what is a show that you've dropped, but you've rewatched it and still dropped it? Or do you guys actually rewatch shows?
Samurai Champloo.
Fully dropped. You're saying fully dropped, then reopened, and then quit again?
Yeah, let's say you were like, you know what, maybe I was too hard on the show and decided to give it a rewatch, and it still sucks, so you dropped it.
I don't think I've done that.
I've done it one at a time. My Hero Academia season 2. I got to episode 7 this time, and I was like,
I'm seeing a pattern here.
One more year. I'll give another year.
Are you going to watch season 3?
Maybe.
Finish season 2 first.
Yeah.
But you, I'm sorry, I thought you had gotten back. My bad.
Yeah. Season 2 isn't as bad as season 1, but I just don't care anymore.
I stopped kind of caring about that show too. Although I don't have disdain. I don't really hate it. I think it's kind of overrated. I feel like it's not as special as people like pretended it is.
Pretty much.
I feel like with Hero Aka, I feel like we live in a generation where we don't have like we don't have as strong of like a big 3 because there's so much fucking anime now that something like My Hero gets exacerbated, I think, and pushed a lot further than it should be. Not that I think
there is a new big 3. One Piece is still going. You got Hero Aka, and then there's Black Clover.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Case in point.
Black Clover
Thank
over
you.
My Hero Academia.
Oh man. All right. Do you have have you dove back into a show and then gotten out of the water again?
I don't think there's a show that I've necessarily dropped, picked it back up, and put it back down. But there is a show that I picked up, disliked, and opted to watch the second season and put that down.
Wait, so you never finished season 1?
No, I finished season 1.
Oh, you did?
I didn't like season 1. I straight up didn't like it. And then I picked up season 2 just to see if it got better. And I threw it back down.
What show is this?
Tales of Hysteria: The Cross.
Oh, man.
I have no idea.
It's fancy. Don't waste your time on it.
It's based off of the Tales of Hysteria game.
Yeah, not even a good one.
I've seen like a ranking of all the Tales of games, and Hysteria is like the second from the bottom.
So you're like, yeah, let's go.
Consensusly rated, it's like the second from the bottom.
I have done this though, Justin. I just looked at my list. I don't think I've ever like gone back in on something and then dropped it again. I've never. I don't even know if I've really given anything a second chance. But I have done this where, say, Psycho-Pass, for example, is something that I watch season 1, and then I kind of let public opinion deter me enough that I had stopped continuing watching anything. I never saw 2. And
it's better that way.
Same here.
That's what everyone says.
Never seen both seasons. You should watch the movie though if you haven't.
I have not seen that. I've not seen that, and like Darker Than Black is something that I want to watch, but then similarly, people kind of poop on Gemini of the Meteor.
I like this.
You like Gemini of the Meteor?
It's more entertaining, but it's not as good as season 1.
Okay. Let me think. Let me see if there's one on my list that I would potentially pick back up. I don't know if this is actually going to exist. Maybe a trigger thing. Maybe I'll learn that it's not that bad.
Yeah, pick that up. Kill.
Oh, okay, here we go. If there's any Trigger fans that end up watching this, you can take this audio clip, I guess. Little Witch Academia is not that bad, but I still dropped it.
Oh, come on!
It's the best thing they've ever done.
Is this the series or the movie?
I've seen the movie and the OVA. I dropped the series at episode 7.
Oh, come on. Well,
but
it's episode, so
I love the Poison Girl. I think that's what kept me going.
yeah, she's in the second half.
A show that I would go back to. I don't know. Not Black Clover. I did watch season 1 though. I don't know, man. That's tough. Because I got a lot of shit on here. Like Akame ga Kill, I'm not going to go back to that.
Go back to Card Captain Sakura.
I never even tried. I did have a recent one that actually Justin asked me about yesterday in a different Discord chat. Fooly Cooly Progressive has made its way to my dropped list. And I'll tell you why. Because this is you're so eager. So Fooly Cooly, I'm sure most people are going to know, is a fucking bombastic 6-episode OVA from, I think they were Gainax back then.
They were Gainax back then.
Gainax back then. And it's fucking insane. And it's like trying to describe the show is kind of hard. But just know that robots come out of people's heads and people hit each other with Vespas and guitars and the like. And there's a giant iron in town. And there's a space pirate king guy. And there's a girl named Haruko. And there's also a girl named Mamimi. Yeah.
That sounds normal.
I enjoy, here's another thing for, I guess, for what became to be Trigger people. I enjoy the original Fooly Cooly. I think it's entertaining. I like how it's short and sweet, and you could watch it in a day, and you could be confused as fuck if you want. You could delve deeper into it if you wanted to. I think there's probably a lot of hidden meaning behind what's in front of you. And that's cool, but I don't think you have to take it like that. You can just watch it as fucking mindless, bombastic entertainment, and that's fine. I'm cool with that. And I was cool with Fooly Cooly just being Fooly Cooly. Then, years later, we get this Progressive, and I was sort of excited for it. I had the same reaction that I do with the new Code Geass, where I love the original, and now we're going to have more, and I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know if I'm excited or what. I don't know what's going to go down. I don't know if I wanted this. You're giving it to me. I don't know if I wanted it. And then I get Fooly Cooly Progressive, and it's everything I didn't want out of Fooly Cooly. It is far less bombastic and crazy. Has way more elements of an actual plot that I ever wanted in my Fooly Cooly. And there's they're adding characters that I don't want in there. The main character is not nearly as interesting as Takun or whatever the fuck his actual name is. I always call him Takun in my head. But I don't know. I don't know if anybody else here bothered to even try that show, but it's on Toonami every weekend. Toonami hit me up with sponsorship. Even though I'm saying don't watch it. But yeah, I recommend not checking out Fooly Cooly Progressive. Maybe Alternative will be better. But I'm probably not going to find out. So I think that's something that's a what do you call it? A franchise that I'm dropping at this point in my life.
But you'll still enjoy. You'll still go back and rewatch Fooly Cooly season 1.
Oh, the original? The original's good. It doesn't make the original bad. I don't think that would happen. I just think that I don't want it anymore. Stop. Just stop it. Just stop it, guys. That's my stance on Fooly Cooly Progressive. And I'm sure that it's probably going to get a whole bunch of videos and shit made about it. I think it already is. And I think that's the kind of thing. And that makes me worried about Code Geass. Because I really like the original. And I don't know what they're going to do. And they're also doing this with Eureka 7 with the new movies. And another series that's near and dear to my heart. Yeah. And why does everything that I love, they can't just leave it alone, man? I feel like the old man sitting in the corner of the room. Back in my day, they made good Eureka 7. Now they're fucking up. Back in my day, we only had 26 episodes of Evangelion and only 24 of them fucking were that great. And then, then we had
the
this
end of the TV series is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's better than the end of Evangelion movie.
Oh,
That movie's garbage.
I don't think End of Ava is garbage. I love End of Ava, but I appreciate a fellow person that enjoys the TV ending.
Oh, yeah. It just needed to end there, and that's all I needed.
Shout out to 4.44 whenever that comes out.
Never.
I can't wait for 4.44 to come out and everybody be confused.
No.
No one's ever been confused with Evangelion. What are you talking about?
This? And they're like, yeah, that was us like 20 years ago.
We're still trying to decipher it. What's going on?
I would love it if this is just me throwing out there, but I would love if Revolutionary Girl Lieutenant can get rebuild movies because that'd be cool.
I mean, it already had a movie, which was basically a rebuild.
Yeah, I know, but we deserve newer Utena stuff.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see newer ones.
Here's the thing too with Eureka 7 is it's not like this is the first time that they've made other stuff in the franchise. Unfortunately, AO exists, which is a sequel that is about as needed as a third leg. I don't know. It is not. Why can't we just let sleeping dogs lie? I don't know. This is turning into like
many uses for a third leg.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want 3 legs, if you want to be that guy walking around with 3 legs, have fun.
I mean,
You make a lot of money on YouTube, probably. Holy shit. Just do videos of yourself with 3 legs. You're set for life. You don't even need Patreon, dude. You'll actually make money on ad revenue. Holy shit. But, yeah. So, in terms of dropping stuff, I do it pretty often. I feel like I'm going to do it. I don't think that's ever... Do you think that is... You're going to we're all predicting with Light that eventually it's going to crack. The shell is going to get exposed, and his heart will just stop being able to take pain. I don't want you to be that old man Light at your deathbed saying like, "Oh, sorry, kids, I can't talk to you. I'm on Black Clover episode 712." I don't want that to happen to you.
Is still screaming the same way.
Coming from an Inuyasha fan who has seen the entire series several times, unfortunately, I know something about wasting time with my eyeballs. But I don't know. I think I will probably keep the same pace of dropping stuff because I think I'm getting a better taste of what I will enjoy and what I will get something out of. Now, that being said, if someone really wanted me to review something, I don't see myself actually dropping it. I see me maybe taking forever to finish it, like Light kind of describes. Chobits. I'm not. That's not a shot at Chobits. I'm not hating it, but I know there are people that want me to review it and talk about it, and I'm halfway through, and it's just...
You've been halfway through since this podcast.
I've been halfway through since I've met certain people. So yeah, someday it'll happen. But there's also what happens to me is also shows that I really like that I still haven't completed yet too. And then I'm like, oh man, should I watch this? Like March Comes in Like a Lion season 2. Still haven't finished season 2. 5 episodes remaining. Still tabbed on my computer, by the way, or a bookmark. Justin, do you think that you will seek out and what do you think you're going to branch out, watch more stuff, and then eventually having to drop it, or do you see yourself sort of fixating in on certain shows and then going from there?
I think it's gonna stay the same, and I'm certainly gonna branch out more. But yeah, that's probably what it's gonna be. It just comes down to how I feel about a show.
Okay. Light, we predicted it for you.
Yeah.
How do you see yourself as an anime fan going into the future?
I'll probably still be watching crap. I'll probably
At least you admit it. I like it. I enjoy it. And I do get enjoyment out of watching Bob Samurai's gaming stream and seeing someone post something about this week's chapter of Hiroaka. And then I won't even see Light's name in the chat for a while, And then I would sit there and I grab my popcorn and I say, he's gonna post something. He's probably like at work. He's gonna see this, and then he'll go, "Well, this wasn't really that great." And then he goes into like a pretty good depth about what he doesn't like about it, and then that kid is triggered, and it's just
that didn't ever come back.
You are the I'm the miasma of the internet. You know, you just in that certain chat, you just here's the poison drop. There we go, in a good way. I enjoy it. It pleases me. Like,
they never stop bringing that up.
Art, same kind of question to you. How do you? I mean, you're the most seasoned out of all of us, I guess. But do you see yourself staying on the same pace of dropping shit or sticking around for through shows till they get good?
I'm more selective with what I watch nowadays, so I don't see my drop list growing that exponentially, because I'll try to be like, I read the synopsis and it looks like complete garbage, so I'm not even going to try it. And then if somebody turns around and says, oh, it's really good, then maybe I'll reconsider it.
Hey, Art. What if someone says that about Black Clover? They're like, oh yeah, Black Clover's like a 10 out of 10.
Look,
I've heard
enough about Black Clover, and
I promise you, someone on Mal has given Black Clover a 10 out of 10.
Light can be our resident Black Clover fanboy.
If you need to know anything about Black Clover,
I think it's horrible.
This is live, by the way. I need to find a 10 out of 10 review on Mal. I won't say this person's name. Overall rating 10. Let me preface this preview by saying this. I am in love with this series, but for all the wrong reasons. If that's how your review starts, and it says 10 at the top, I don't know. But I guess one more thing that I wanted to touch on, I know we're going a tad long here. I hope that's okay. But is as I've watched more shows, I am no longer consuming them in the way that I used to, and I think that's feeding maybe less. I don't know if it's reactive to my dropped list the same way, because I used to care about seasonal anime, or now I don't give a fuck. Or I pretended to care, and I was just the unlucky bastard that I would pick something out every season, and I am such an indie fuckboy that I would pick stuff that no one was talking about. And in my head, I didn't realize no one's talking about it because it's probably going to be ass. And then that's how I ended up starting Handshakers. There's that story. And that's how I ended up finishing Vatican Miracle Examiner. Because I made it like halfway through and I said, fuck it. I haven't watched anything bad in a while. And that show's really bad. But I used to just pick something out. And I don't do that anymore. Now I don't really watch something unless I've heard like someone. I've made a good amount of friends in the community that will say like, you should check this out, and I generally know them well enough that I can believe them. Do I have interest in shit that not a lot of people talk about that seems like it'd be my cup of tea? Maybe it's a couple years old or something. A certain Magical Index, have it on my Blu-ray shelf. Been there a little while now. And haven't even opened it.
Talking about dropped anime and Handshakers, I see on Justin's Mal, he dropped Handshakers episode 1 46 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You missed the I Who Plays Zombie.
It's because like we were talking about dropped anime, and I was like, oh yeah, Handshakers should be there.
I've technically finished and dropped Handshakers.
I thought this whole thing.
Because in Discord, I had watched the first. I was trying when this first started. I was trying to do episode reviews, and the first one I was going to do was it was either Handshakers or Blue Exorcist season 2, and both of those I dropped. But Handshakers, like Blue Exorcist, I just wasn't into anymore, and Handshakers was bad, and like I just couldn't. I eventually just did like a rant video, but. In Bob's Discord, a good friend of ours who watches this sometimes, named Rob, was like, "Oh, you should watch it." And then Bob Samurai came up with a cool idea to watch the last episode So I've seen the first 5 episodes of Handshakers and then the last one. And I didn't care about any context or anything. Now I know how it ends. There we go. I guess I know what matters, which is nothing. Which is that they should not have animated that or wasted time. Here we go. I'm going to pad you Hiroyuki Imaishi fans. Everything Hiroyuki Imaishi has ever made looks better than Handshakers. There you go.
That's not saying much.
Yeah.
Everything.
No, ignore that part. Ignore that part. Take the positive.
Literally anything made by Taniguchi is better than Handshakers.
I think you and I are the only two who know Takashi Taniguchi's name.
Okay, everybody that is watching this, everybody that doesn't know who he is in this chat, go experience Taniguchi.
It looks better than Mars Destruction.
Low-hanging fruit.
Honestly, I'll take Mars to Destruction over Handshakers.
Attitude.
But I don't know which is worse, Pupa or Handshakers.
I've never seen Pupa.
At least
Pupa,
like kind of looked decent.
Yeah,
like
just
maybe like a 4 out of 10.
At least, like, although, like, if people say to me, like, that's the worst thing I've watched, I usually say Spectral Force, but that's like an OVA, and it's just, I say it's the worst because
Skelter Heaven in your life.
That's not even my top 10 worst.
I want some Garzy's Wing in my life soon.
Oh, yeah, watch it. Classic.
I really want Garzy's Wing in there. I want to change what's the worst anime. Because with Spectral Force, I have it as the worst just because I see no redeeming quality to it. It's not funny. It looks like shit. It's voice acted like shit. It's boring. The story doesn't make any sense. They switch the voice actors like halfway through. It's hot garbage. And apparently Garzy's Wing is worse. So there's that. And I haven't finished Handshakers, so like I would count it as stuff that I've completed as being the worst I've ever seen. But I guess worst thing that my eyeballs have like looked at, Handshakers is probably that. Because it's pretty fucking bad. And there's not a whole lot redeeming to it. But yeah, so on that note, people like to end on a positive note. Here in the Sugoi Boyz show, we end on the Handshakers note, which is the best of notes. I'd like to thank everybody that made it to this chat tonight. My good friends Art of Anime, J Chip from the J Chip show, and special guest Light Lelouch. Light, thank you for coming today.
Thanks for having
me. Chat, thank you for watching and reminded me that about the awesomeness of Excalibur. That was great.
Well, before we end it,
no, sure.
Light, how about you let everybody know where they can reach you?
No, yeah, you can reach my blog on WordPress. It's called Personification.
Oh yeah,
I'm a Persona fan.
Okay, I have a link down below. He does a bunch of anime reviews, and you do live action films as well.
Yeah, I try to do both.
Okay. Delve into manga?
Not yet, but I remember with Lone Wolf.
In the future, there's another look behind the curtain. You only get that kind of exclusive coverage on the Sugoi Boyz. But thank you all for coming, and we'll see you guys next time. See ya.